maybe 5:30.
Expect to play.
And I got my $10 for selling my info.
I don't know. Okay, you sold your info. I don't know what that means. Is there anything you wanted to talk about specifically?
Yeah. So there's a game that I had bought a while ago, and I got to the very end of it, and then I stopped playing it. I'm not sure. I think another game came out, but it's a game for the Switch, and it's called Astral Chain. I want to talk about that game because that game, I mean, it's a little bit older, but that game is one of the coolest games I've played, at least for the Switch. Dude, I am like out of my league here. Okay.
When you go to the Xbox game list on the Microsoft thing, you have the ability to look at like 200 games at once and not in...
Yeah, I'm at the Games Pass, but it's Games Pass for PC. I'm like, oh my God.
No, just Google Xbox Game Pass list.
Why did it give me a fucking error? Hello?
Hello?
I said, type in, okay, let's go to Google itself, because apparently that's not how you do that.
Okay. And actually play this week's game, or this game, unlike you
I
did
played
last
the other
one.
one for like 10 minutes.
Yeah. You watched a review on it. That's about it.
No, I actually tried it out.
Was it just like a point and click adventure thing?
Basically, I mean, you move around, but it's all basically just puzzle solving. I mean, there's a good storyline to it. Dang, I always forget my frickin' pen. Where? Hold on, I'm going to get a pen.
You can just make a note of it, like a.
Oh, you know what?
Type it out.
I got my phone. Hold on, no, I don't need to do that.
Yeah, and then you can just assign numbers to each game and then have me pick a number. You don't have to.
Hey!
Hey, you calm down. I don't need you yelling.
You're just white.
You're a boy. Most of these games are going to be a no.
That's why we do this.
This is exactly.
One more.
Are you fucking? We're not even. I'm just joking. We're not doing anything.
Okay.
What is she cutting?
Nothing. Dude, I swear to God, as soon as she comes home, she is so loud. Quit acting like you're not this loud all the time. It's so ridiculous.
Chase, have you ever played a game called
It's not annoying, but it's ridiculous.
Have you ever played a game called Batman Arkham Knight?
Yeah. Oh.
Shut up.
I
miss you, Ray.
Hi,
don't
Corey.
don't lie to him. He gets his hopes up, and then
Dylan's gonna play with us.
no, Dylan's not going to play Sea of Thieves. He's been playing all day.
Really?
Yeah.
You've been playing all day?
Yeah, I saw it when I signed on to play the game for a little bit just to make sure it was working today.
Really? How long were you on?
Like 10 minutes. I did get a shipwreck chest though. There was some birds, and I went down and got the shipwreck chest. And there's one thing that was really cool about the game, but I'm going to tell Ray about it. But
the mermaids coming in.
Not going to say anything.
She guessed it.
Tried it.
She's good.
Not going to say. No, I'm not going to say anything. Nope. I didn't see any mermaids.
Yeah, you fucking did though.
I didn't see any. I hear that weird noise in the background again. Like, but I don't know if it'll even show up if it's just like my audio. We can try to record with it if it's like keeping you alive.
Oh, you fucking blinds! I'm gonna send these blinds to hell. Is that better?
Yeah, I don't hear it.
It's just the blinds.
It's okay. Why am I on everything?
Oh, just wait.
Don't be a boy.
Oh, don't do it. I'm getting real spazzy.
Feed him.
I'm gonna knock.
What is that lamp doing right there? It's just a fucking lamp.
It helps with light.
In the middle of nowhere. You live in the desert. There should be light everywhere.
No, okay. No, because I have these blinds that close off because the fucking heat comes in and it's like Satan's crotch.
The heat?
Yeah, because it's summertime and I'm in the middle of the desert. God, are you?
Ooh!
Wee! I need my fucking glasses, dude.
You okay?
Was that funny? A little funny?
I didn't see what you did. Just the glasses part, yes.
No, I got up and I fucking ran really fast.
I wasn't watching you.
Damn it, they're in my car. Oh no, they're not. I see one pair.
Okay, I beat Firewatch. I played Firewatch.
Ah, I heard that game was really good.
Yeah, the game's pretty good. Yeah. It's very interesting. I would say I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. I'm gonna talk about I switched. I've been playing Madden 21, the face of the franchise, and I switched to franchise mode, and that is way more engaging and interesting. I want to talk a little bit about that. Me and Corey beat Halo 2. And I just started playing the first Hitman, the redo or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I want to. I don't know if I played enough of that to talk about it though.
Dude, did you see all the games that are coming in Games Pass? Man, they are really stepping it up. I'm like, oh my, Phil Spencer! Thank you! He basically saved. Phil Spencer basically saved.
Why are you so low?
Whoa, Xbox.
Yeah, tilt the camera down. You can crouch all you want to. Well, I'm just saying, do you want people to see? Well, I was going to say, do you want people to see your face? But we all know the answer to that question.
I know.
I'm just saying. Is there any news? Is there any news that you saw that you wanted to talk about?
Not really. 'Cause just that, so we're just waiting for July 22nd, actually a month from now, to see more Battlefield stuff. And then obviously, more Halo stuff. There is a game coming out Friday that I'm going to be getting. It's called Scarlet Nexus. Which
yeah,
I had already
about that last week.
Yeah, talked about that a little bit. Did I tell you this happened? This is a couple weeks ago now. But Joe Biden, remember? Yeah, that's right. I sent you the text. Joe Biden is dressed in the military. They're all standing up. Oh, sorry. Eddie's. I keep forgetting I'm the president. What did he say? Did he just say he forgets to? Can we cut to a commercial? We already did. Okay. All right. Well, it's out there now.
I don't know if I don't know if that's actually what he meant, but he was just like someone treating you that way and not always standing up for you or whatever. That's going to be a little bit. Now, 100 and something days in, do you think you would get?
Chase he's been in Senate. He's been in Senate. He's not new to the president. Donald Trump, yeah, I could understand that because he was never a politician.
No, but the military doesn't stand up for him. For just a senator, they don't treat.
No, you would still treat him with respect. You still treat.
But he's never addressed the military like that, where they stand up, at attention.
He was also the vice president as well for 8 years.
But he never talked. He never spoke like that. Like they don't. I didn't know. It's weird that the vice presidents are getting more. It's interesting. More people know who they are.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Like I didn't know, when with Bush and then Cheney, I didn't, when it was, maybe because I was younger, I didn't pay attention. Maybe that's it. But I didn't pay attention to who the vice president was. Now the vice presidency is a launching point, instead of just, I don't know, instead of just a person who was involved in politics and kind of knows the intricacies that can help out the president, advise him. Now it's a spot people want to get to then launch themselves to possibly being president one day, or to a different office or something. So it's interesting.
But yeah, before we go any further, let's start it.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. Sorry, boss. I don't like how people are saying boss all the time. Do you notice that?
They do.
Like at restaurants, waiters, waitresses, not like waiters. Like a guy will say.
That's because you live down there.
I don't know what it is.
It's not
so
up here.
Annoying.
It's not up here.
I don't like when people come. He's like, okay, got your boss. Yep. I was like, well, what do you want to drink? I like Arnold Palmer, mostly tea. Coming right up, boss. Stop it.
Probably just a liberal thing.
Stop it. Stop calling people boss. Well, that is anti-liberal because they don't. Bosses is a social construct. Is a hierarchy.
Well.
That doesn't make any sense.
Look. We already know these people are hypocrites. Like Megan Rapinoe. We'll talk about that as well. She was going to be the Victoria's Secret model, and then some shit came up. Some Twitter.
Did they get?
No, she got canceled. She got canceled.
Did Victoria's Secret remove her from the campaign ads and all that stuff?
That I'm not. I'm guessing they did because what she said.
I don't think she got canceled. I think people gave her shit online, but like being canceled is removing someone from all their advertisers.
Well, like I think I'm not sure. Well, I mean, it just goes to show their either way. It goes to show their hypocrisy.
Either way. Either way.
Either way.
It's really funny. There was some article I saw. It's like Greta Thunberg. She started she started a youth like group movement thing, and then it disbanded because the group decided that the group was racist. So they're like basically eating each other, and but because that's what when like you were freaking out, it was like the Democrats have the House and the Senate. They're gonna put that time. I was like, there's no way they will all work together. Because they're always pointing fingers at if they get rid of the one person that they want to get rid of, say Donald Trump is that person. He's gone. They have all this anger and they need to focus it somewhere. And so it's going to be their friends. It's going to be the people in their own house. It's going to be,
there's still Republicans that they can go after. Like they try to go after Matt Gaetz. I think he's a representative. Oh, who's the governor of? I can't remember what state, but
there's no one, if you get rid of the person on the right, the most right person they get rid of, right? But then the next person's in line, and the next person, and then by just sheer numbers, you're going to get to yourself. You're going to get to the people who.
Well, I mean, they could still push policies that are not good for America.
Well, I understand that, but then people are going to get sick of it, and then they're going to vote in the people who they want to, and then it'll correct itself. And then that's what it's a pendulum. It's a pendulum swinging. Well, it's a pendulum. Like I always thought of it as a pendulum swinging.
Well, I mean, there's been
and it's going to correct itself.
There's been so many, I mean, I imagine there were Trump supporters who did the same thing, but there were so many Biden supporters coming out on Twitter. I voted for Biden and now I regret it. What the hell's happening with the gas prices? And then, places are starting to run out of meat and places are starting, wood is skyrocketed, all this fucking crazy shit. The border is the worst it's been for a long time, even worse than Obama.
Do you see that funny internet video where it was Kamala Harris?
Yeah, she's being interviewed.
Well, she was like, don't come. And then they cut to Trump. I'm going to come. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I thought that was the funniest thing. Just like the look on his face.
Yeah. But what's really funny, too, is her campaign trail. I tried to share that specific video on Facebook, but it cut out like the actual part it was weird. But it shows her campaign trail. This administration is turning these people away. A mother will pay a coyote to send their child all across Mexico because they think it's safer than staying in Mexico. And this administration, it's a humanitarian crisis. Goes to Guatemala, tells them, don't come.
Well, no, it just shows you that they're like mostly, and if not all, the politicians, they'll say whatever they want to get into office.
Yeah.
And then when they get there, I don't think they realize they can't
do certain things.
There's certain things you can't accomplish and that's how the system should work. One person should not be able to come in there, or a group of people should not be able to come in there and change everything drastically. That's why it's slow progress to make sure you don't make these drastic mistakes that these other countries do. So, but anyways, hello everybody. This is another episode of the Video Games and Nonsense podcast. I'm Chase Carter. That's
Raymond Woods.
This is a podcast where we talk about video games and nonsense and what we've been playing lately. So Ray, what have you been playing?
Actually last night I just started playing the game I was talking about, Astral Chain. Dude, so IGN, everyone is giving that game, it's about a year old, but when the game came out, everyone was going crazy about how cool that game is. IGN gave it a 9 out of 10. And as we know, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Most games get like 8 out of 10s. Most. So it's not. They're not just. What I like about IGN is, it's still an opinion, but they only give their 9s and 9 out of 10s and 10s out of 10s for like the fucking top games. And I'm like, okay, I get that. Like Ghost of Tsushima, I think got a 9 out of 10. I think Horizon Zero Dawn got a 10 out of 10. I think. And then God of War, I think, got a 10 out of 10. And then of course we know Zelda Breath of the Wild got a 10 out of 10. Of course. I mean,
Well,
those games are near perfect. That's the whole thing. And now I wouldn't say this game is near perfect, but IGN gave it a 9 out of 10. It's long story short, there's these otherworldly aliens or entities called chimeras, and they come under Earth. You know, they basically come through what's called a red door. They come from the astral plane, and then the human beings, you can't see them with the naked eye. So the police force, Neuron is what it's called, is they've created these devices where they can basically attach this astral chain to the chimeras and basically kind of tame them and use them as warriors and stuff. But dude, the combat, man, the reason why it got a 9 out of 10 is because the combat of the game, how they were able to mix combat with as you can see right here, the combat with your character just alone, and then your chimera, and like they have like the Legata system, which is basically what connects to the Astral Chain and stuff like that.
so it's like a hack and slash third person kind of but also I don't know what you would call that. You got a gun. You have like so you have the X baton where it forms into a gun, and then it forms into like the regular medium sized baton / sword. As you can see right there, that's the sword. Oh man, what's it called? It's not sword chimera. I can't remember. Because I just started playing it last night. So you see, no, there's another character with him. Is that your astral person or whatever?
No, so that's your main character. That's like the main character you play as.
Okay.
And then now they don't talk. Your main character doesn't talk. He just kind of kind of how Zelda does. In Zelda, not Zelda herself. But you get there's other what are they called? Damn it. They're called chimeras, but they're not. They don't call them legions. That's what they're called. Legions, sword legions. But then you also get like this one right here. This one, it's like a wolf legion, and you can capture that one. They have another one with like big ass fists, and then another one like a bit with a fucking giant sword, and then another one's like a bow and arrow and stuff like that. And there's different moves that you can use. As you can see, there's like that flash, and then you hit a certain button, and then like that right there, and then you hit a certain button, and then you can do like combos and stuff like that. But man, I tell you, the game, the combat, it's so fun. See, like, so this one, I can't remember exactly what but that one is one where is basically his fist, and each one has a special ability. So like with this one, with this legion, you can get inside of it and basically control it yourself as the character, and you can lift like certain objects that you wouldn't be able to. It does have a Metroidvania kind of aspect to it.
Okay.
And then with with the sword, and dude, I'm telling you, it's awesome. It's only for the Switch, unfortunately. But this is the astral plane that they're in right now. You obviously go back into the regular world. And then with the sword legion, you can cut certain you can it goes in like a third person, and then you see like this you see like certain circuits and then what you could do is you can like cut that, like certain circuits or certain signals, you can slice and cut through them, and then also certain enemies will give off certain energy, like it shows as green, and it's like certain energy waves, and you can cut that, and then it deflects it'll deflect the attack, which is really cool. And then the sword legion, or the fucking axe legion, I guess I think that's what they call it. He can pull up this big ass fucking like protective shield, and then the wolf, you can ride it. You can literally ride it. See, as the beast legion, that's what it is. He captured that. See, as he's riding it right here, that's the special ability that you get
from killing that boss or whatever, or is that something that upgrade?
You capture it. You don't. Oh, okay. Yeah, you just capture it. But dude, like I said, man, and the storyline is it's really it's
like how he has the collar and the chain.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then you can call them back to you. You can switch on the fly whichever one you want. You can only use one at once, which because and then there's a timer right there, and you can upgrade the timer. There's a timer right there as you can see right next to the player. So when you first start out, if you keep them out for too long, then you'll have to wait for the gauge to fill back up. So you want to you want to bring them. You can't just keep them out for as long as you want.
Okay.
And then there's a bunch of lore in the game. Like that stuff that he's picking up. That's red matter, if I'm not mistaken, and only the legions and the chimeras can pick them up. But man, and then dude, you get so many different moves with each legion has different moves, and I love it's so fucking cool. It's
Is
so
it
cool.
single player only?
Yeah,
Or-
there is co-op, but they expressed that co-op was more of a hassle than it was fun.
Okay.
I was like, huh, that's interesting.
Because
But
it would
they
be
tried.
interesting if you played co-op and you were say I was the Legion character.
That's how it is. But the problem
Oh.
is the I think the person who controls the Legion controls the camera.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's weird. They didn't they could have done it really cool, but they didn't.
Why can't they have their own camera?
I know. But what's really cool too is you can do like with that chain. So there's certain enemies will do like these rush attacks, and they'll have like this red line where they're gonna go. And if you because you can move your Legion, but you can move it independently. If you move it across and the chain goes across that red beam where they're gonna go, it'll when they launch themselves, they'll get caught in the chain, and you and your Legion will throw them back with the chain. And then they'll get like stunned and stuff like that.
So
and
the chain is actually like a physical.
Yeah. It's so fucking
That's
cool.
cool.
And then with the chain, you can also wrap the enemies around and then chain them to the ground, so then they can't move for a minute.
I like that. I really like. I don't like. I really like that, but especially the what is it? The rope in Uncharted. Do you remember tying the rope to the tree?
So you see that move right there?
Just those little things.
Yeah, little thing. And then you can do little finishers right there. Well, he'll fucking go in and grab their basically like their, I guess you could say their I can't remember what that's called now either. But that gives you like points where you can upgrade your Legion. But it's just, dude, like I said, I think if I'm not mistaken, well, no, I wouldn't say it flew under the radar. But dude, like, and I never beat it. I'm pretty sure I got to the end, but it's long too. I was like, it's surprisingly long. I'm like, this game is so that this is where you get like the different moves and stuff. So like you get an ability, as you can see right there, where he binded them. You do it automatically. It's an auto bind, and then like if there whatever 3 enemies, like small enemies, are in the vicinity, he'll just go immediately and then bind them. And I'm like,
oh, wrap them up.
So cool, dude. And like I said, each Legion has their own abilities. And see, is this for and then these are abilities that you can get. You can get like a call burst, which will
all these fucking different ones.
Yeah, where you can get like a call burst is when you bring out your Legion, there's a huge burst of energy and that causes damage. And then you see, as he did right there, you can independently move your Legion over to and then he'll pull you over. It's what's really cool too is in the cutscenes of like in like the cutscenes, your character will fall like off like in the astral plane, and then the Legion, you'll see the Legion fly up from the chain. It's anime, so it's like over the top, like really cool.
Obviously this whole thing's over the top and fantastical, but it looks great. Now, do you develop? How long have you played it? Because do you develop a relationship with your Legion?
So what happens is like I said, there's different ones that you get, but what happens is at first you go into because there's twins, your brother and a sister. But they just do that for, if you want to play male or female.
Yeah.
But when you go into the astral plane, you fight this boss, and then the rest of the team and like the rest of the characters in the game, they come and they help you. But there's but then all of a sudden you start getting this they start getting their corruption levels from the astral plane start going up, and then there's a little device where you send it out, where you send the Legion out, and it's blue, and then that turns red, and then the legions, they break off. But then you weaken them, and then the commander says change to mode C, and then you weaken them. You might be able to recapture them or whatever, or detain them, or however they say it. And so you do that, and then it's like a cinematic. You see all your character. You're seeing them. You're all the other characters. Their legions are breaking off and stuff like that, and then you have yours, and then you gain reconnection. But then what happens is you gain a complete what is it? This is the very beginning of the game, but you basically become synced as one,
Okay.
like a mental what is the I'm losing it. I'm usually pretty good with words like this, but yeah, you basically become completely synced, like mentally, and that's when you unlock all these crazy different moves, and you can dodge a lot better, which is really cool. And what they said, the commander says in the game, we were only merely before this happened, we were only merely able to kind of bring them out, and then they did their own thing. But then something happens to you, so it like I said, it's the storyline's really cool. It's anime, so there's some corny stuff in it, but it's that's
Oh
just
yeah,
anime.
yeah. But that's part of the charm. Is that same thing with those like campy like American movies, like they're corny, campy kind of things. But the game looks good.
Yeah,
The game looks good and fun. I don't know if that's a game that I would play. To be honest with you, I wouldn't. I don't know. I'm not drawn to it, but I can see how fun it would be.
You see how it's invisible right there? Like you can't really we can see it, but the players can't see it. They don't see. They start seeing them once they get that the Legata system, and they put it on their arm, and then they get the ability to see them.
They go into the astral plane or whatever, and they can see them.
No, they don't need to go in the astral plane. They just the police force, the neuron force, they created this device so then police can see them and fight them, because like they're naked, they're invisible to the human eye. Basically, I guess you.
Well, where was the guy before? Like in that crazy world that was all cubed up.
No, that was the astral plane, but that's
okay.
You just go there for like story driven missions and stuff like that, and there's like little side quests and stuff too.
Okay. Game looks pretty cool. You've been playing this, and what else? Or is that pretty much it?
That's pretty much it. Like as I told you on the phone earlier, I tried playing Battlefield 4 again and on PC, and it was cool. Like I said, it looked 20 times better than console. I mean, I probably just have to get used to it. I just have to keep playing it because when you play an old game and it has the old kind of ways.
Well, yes, it's 30 frames a second, and it's like.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's how it is on console. On PC, it's not really like that. On console, it looks horrible. Dude, I was like, oh my god. It literally looked pixelated. It's crazy how far we've come. And then
just in a generation or two.
Yeah, and then actually I do want to talk about the new Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I really want to get that game. But
just the way the game looks, and
the game looks amazing. I know everyone is saying it looks, it's a great game. I think that one got a 9, either an 8 or 9 out of 10, whatever. But for me, man, look, I played all the other Ratchet and Clanks. And really the only thing that's new, obviously new storyline, new worlds, new different weapons, all that stuff. But really the only really new thing is they added like a dash and then a wall run, but it's only specific walls that you can run on. And I'm like,
well, you haven't played it yet. And the dash, I saw the dash. It looks really cool how he like phases.
Yeah, but
it looks really big. Just the animation. Just the animation.
Dash. Like,
well, it's a first person, like linear. You start off on a level, you go forward, and it's not like an open world.
It's third person.
What'd I say? First person?
Yeah, you said first person.
Well, third person. It's a third person like action adventure game.
I get it. Look, don't get me wrong, but from my standpoint is it's $70. So they're charging next gen prices for something that's not really next gen. Is it really next gen though? Is it?
Well, as far as graphics, it is.
Yeah, sure.
There's no game that looks like that. It looks like a Pixar movie, and you get to play it. That looks great. I saw some of the detail in the textures. Like leather actually looks like leather. Like they showed like the gameplay model from like kind of far away, and then they zoomed in on it, and they're all, this is actual in game, like in the photo mode, and they zoomed in on it. I was like, huh? Why isn't that in all games? Why
I know.
In all games, I don't understand what they're doing.
$70?
Well, no, I wouldn't pay $70 for just from me. Like if I was a budget video game, even though I'm not, I could afford more than what I purchased. I spent $10 on the Sea of Thieves Plunder Pass, and I'm like, just to support the game because it's fun and whatever. I haven't actually like given them money since the game came out 3 or 4 years ago. I'm like, they need a little. I'll support them. Also, they're doing things that I like. I'll support them.
I'll support them. $10.
I'll support. I'll do
just
it.
like,
It's just, we've given you how many hours of entertainment, and you've given us just the $50 or $60 when the game came out. Yes. I was like, okay, I know. I've been sorry. I apologize, but no, I wouldn't unless you really like that kind of game.
yeah.
Unless that's your kind of experience, I wouldn't spend that kind of money on it just because it is a linear game. But like just the technology in it, the way that you can go through worlds and everything.
Too. The haptic feedback.
Oh, the haptic feedback! I heard, that's one thing I'm a little jealous of. But I don't know if I'll need it or if it changes how games are played. But
I wouldn't say it changes. It definitely adds a level of immersion to it, though. It definitely does. Because
but that's if the developer uses it right.
Well, of course.
Because the developer has to do it.
But but like Returnal, they do that, and it adds. It definitely adds to it. But here's my thing. I watched the review. When I watched the review on IGN, the dude said it took him 16 hours to complete the entire game, and he was at 90% completion. 16 hours. I was like, oh my God, no.
But shorter games don't mean bad games.
For $70? Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. That's what you want. And if you don't want a 16-hour experience, you don't have to buy the game.
Well, I know, but I'm just expressing that because I was real excited. I remember I was actually talking to my buddy Sebastian. I was like, and he has a PS5, and I was like, dude, I wonder when Ratchet Clank's coming out. I really want to get that game. And then he was like, isn't it coming out in like a day or two? I was like, no, look it up. And I was
already
out. Oh my God, it is. It was like a day, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking get it. And then I was like, wait a minute. I watched the review, and I don't know, just seeing that, and then the wall run. It's not a real wall run. It's like it's very specific walls that you can run on, and they try to use that as something that's new to the game, a new addition. I'm like, so you just don't.
You okay?
Don't try to push these things that are new to the game when they're not. Okay, we have games with wall running. Actually, Prince of Persia introduced wall running. Well, I mean, obviously it introduced a time reversal, but wall running was like huge in Prince of Persia. And you can wall run on any wall. That's wall running. That is wall running. Okay. Dashing. We have dashing in every fucking game.
It's the same thing with because I play NBA 2K like mostly every year. Now I think I'm gonna start skipping years, but they always say the new technology, it's new foot planting technology because a lot of the characters would walk around and they would look like they would ice skate. They wouldn't actually like push off.
Yeah.
And so they'll show a trailer and they'll zoom in on the person like planting their foot and changing direction. But then when you play it, it's fixed a little bit, but it's not. They're like we reworked it from the ground up, and it's like it's the same.
No, you didn't.
It's the same issue. Like you may have, but it's the same result or nearly identical to the same result as you got before. But it's always like this new stuff, and it's like no, be honest with us. Say you tweaked it or you fine tuned it or you're trying to make it better, but don't say reworked it from. First of all, reworking something from the ground up doesn't necessarily make the game better or whatever feature you're working on better.
And first of all, people who have played video games for most of their life and who have a brain, when a game company says we reworked it, stop.
You're just trying to like add these bullet selling points.
And it's just like Warzone, Infinity Ward, Raven, and all them. They, I think it was season 3. I think it was. They're like, a new map's coming. And then there was like the cutscene showed a nuclear explosion, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, we got a new map!" And everyone landed, and it wasn't a new map. They had literally made they added like 1 or 2 places. That was it. I was like, they said the words "new map,"
not new addition to the current map.
I'm like, and then now it turns out, actually, you guys aren't getting an actual new map until the next release of Call of Duty, which is back in World War II. They've already done like 4 fucking World War II damn games, okay? Shit. Like, people are not wanting that. That's why Battlefield is coming out of the World War II. That's why they're going modern. And Call of Duty's like, well, we do whatever we want. We don't get... Case in point, they don't listen. They do not listen. They don't listen.
But I think those games are being made like 3 or 4 years in advance. So you have to have like foresight.
I know they still don't listen.
Yeah.
And I don't believe Call of Duty is made with 3 or 4 years. I believe they make it 2.
No,
Because it's just copy and paste. That's all they got to do. Just change the guns and change the maps, and that's it.
I don't think it's that simple. I don't think it's that simple. But
they have a Call of Duty that comes out every single year.
I know that, but they have multiple developers working on each game is different.
This one is Sledgehammer apparently. So
yeah, they had I think 3 studios working on it, and then one I think failed. I can't remember the because there's like Sledgehammer. What was it? I can't remember.
Treyarch.
Yeah. But I know one failed with like they even had to scrap the single player to it, and then the game came out and didn't do very well, and so like that developer I guess didn't get the next iteration, so they took I think Infinity Ward and had them work on a game, but I can't remember. But it is interesting if you have 3 or 4 game studios working on a game. Then if you have 4, that means like one can be released technically every year. But it has a 4-year dev cycle. But if you're not making the game from the kind of the ground up or making a new engine or all of those things, like each game is not really like a big leap. It's the same thing with sports games. It's not a huge leap from one to the next. If you have every 3 or 4, well, like for sports games, I can see why they release it every year because a new season,
new seasons,
a new NBA
rosters,
season, new football season. Yeah, I understand that. So that makes more sense. But like a Call of Duty game every year doesn't make sense unless from a business standpoint, it makes perfect sense because
they make millions.
Yeah. So
it's like a new iPhone coming out, new Samsung every year.
But I wonder, like say Grand Theft Auto Online, that was released like 8 years ago, 9 years ago, and it makes more money than any other game ever made. So is that just is that a special case, or can other games learn from that? You have to make a real.
Of course,
you have to make a really good game that people enjoy.
Yeah.
And then people will stay in that that ecosystem, because it would be actually detrimental to their bottom line, because they said they're making more money now in Grand Theft Auto Online than they ever have.
That's insane. That's insane.
It's insane. That's crazy. So just with shark cards and all that other stuff, all that nonsense. But like, is it more cost effective to do that? Because they haven't spent a ton of money on the Grand Theft Auto games. So like making new content, but they're making way more content with all the new Call of Duties being released every year. So is it worth making all of those games, putting out new stuff all the time every year, making a new game basically, or making a little upgraded version of the game you released last year, then making a badass Call of Duty Warzone kind of thing, and then just upgrading it, every 3 or 4 months.
It's funny though,
I wonder what the thing is.
Because there's a lot of people who are not happy. I would say the majority of the Call of Duty community is not happy that they're going World War II. And a good amount do not like Cold War. The only reason why people play Cold War is because the guns that they unlock, they have to play it because the guns they unlock guns in Cold War, then they can play them on Warzone.
Yeah, and those guns were. I heard that when they first came out, they were better, and people were having an issue.
No, they're completely better. Like the Mac 10 is one of the best SMGs in that game. Like it's fast shooting. You know how that.
All that stuff.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's so I get it. Like, and
it is an interesting thing to.
Warzone is all about metas, the meta weapons. Like right now there's this LMG that is, dude. If you were to see like how devastating it is, you'd be like, but the problem is there's almost no recoil and there's no damage drop off. None. You could shoot it as far as you want and it does the same amount of damage as if it was close. I'm like, I can't compute. And like that's why. Go ahead.
I don't know why people. Well, yeah, I just don't know if that were the case, because I don't know. I haven't played it. I played Warzone for a few days, and that was it. I was like, I don't want this thing has 100. It's like 130 gigs on my hard drive. I'm not keeping it here. It's not that.
I get it.
There's
no need for it to be that big.
No, it's no need. So I'm just wondering, with those metas in the game, like what loadouts. I mean, there's whole communities based off of what guns to have, what loadouts to have, what
Attachments,
equipment, all that stuff. Yeah, attachments. So I'm wondering if they go away from that and add a rock paper scissors, kind of like Halo, like
Yeah, that's how Battlefield is too. If
yeah,
rock, paper, scissors,
there's counters to stuff. So I'm wondering, instead, that's the way Battlefield is going, because before you're on a tank map, you pick assault. There's no, there was no other option for it. So there's just like one kind of thing. You have to have this anti-tank character or whatever. But then if you have bigger maps, people pick snipers and then stay on the edges of the map. But then if you also have, if you put, so I guess it would be snipers and tanks. It wouldn't be
it still has that like Battlefield, that like as far as I remember from Battlefield 2, because I didn't play 1942. I started like a little bit in Battlefield 2, but then I really got heavily into it with Bad Company because of the destruction. And I was like, okay, finally a fucking first-person shooter. But then it wasn't just the destruction too; it was the sound that they had, and all that, and the gunplay was, anyways. But they've always had that that rock paper scissors kind of feel, because even with support, and actually I think with sniper class in Battlefield 4, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you can get C4 with a sniper class. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I haven't played it as much as you do, so I have no idea. I just remember the C4 blast in the Battlefield 3.
Yeah.
But just that sound was, I was in I was like at the third floor of a building, and like it was a level where like tanks would just keep circling the streets. I remember just like I got killed 3 or 4 times. I'm like, okay, F this. I'm just gonna stay in one spot. So I threw C4 out the window and it landed on the street. I just waited for a tank to come by, and I had never used it before. I'd never heard it or whatever, never used it, and just like the sound, it was exactly the sound of how I think it would sound in my imagination.
Well, it was like
going off.
It was like that Mythbusters when they blew up that fucking that.
Oh yeah, that concrete. Yeah. Then that was.
You're like,
it was just gone, and that's exactly how I thought. And I was in like the building right next to it, and so you felt it, and I was like,
yeah.
I was so excited. Just that one, those games, those moments in games are very rare, where you're just sitting there smiling, and I had that with, I think it was Arkham City, in the Batman game.
Yeah.
When I was in the Batmobile, and then you shoot out of it, and then you can like glide.
Oh yeah. Arkham Knight has the Batmobile.
I thought it was Arkham City. You had no. Oh yeah, Arkham Knight. Sorry, Arkham Knight. When you launch out of it, and then you're just flying up into the sky, into the night sky over Gotham. I just had the biggest grin on my face. I was like, thank you for that moment.
We're Batman.
It was worth that movie. That moment was worth. And I just watched the Justice League, the Snyder.
Oh, that's
cut.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
You sent me a message that I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's something you have to watch. If you can watch it.
Yep, I did. I just did it at work. I was like,
the best moment, like Wonder Woman is arguably has some of the best moments when that first fight scene when she comes in and she's actually moving fast. And then she
like
instead of everything in slow motion, like they have slow motion in the movie, but you have to have a mixture of it. You can't have just slow motion. Otherwise it's just Gal Gadot like in slow, like you have to mix it up. And so when you actually see her from like a human being's perspective, how fast she is and how badass that, Wonder Woman is.
Yeah,
it gives you that like awe and wonderment. And it's just all, oh, thank you. Thank you very much. That's all we want. That's all we want as comic book fans.
What I loved is
slow motion in every scene.
I loved how in depth they went with Cyborg and his fucking abilities.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
They cut him out.
This in the movie. Like, what the fuck is? No one knows who Cyborg is. I mean, I know because he's just, he's DC. I didn't know, but no one knows his real abilities. And then they
explain it in way more detail. They explain it in way more detail what he can do.
Yeah.
In this one, yeah.
I was like, he has access to the entire. Okay. So he's one of the most strongest superheroes of all time in the world. In the world.
Anything he wants to do, he can do. Like, because everything's based off of electronics and computers and.
If he wanted to, he could shut the entire world down. He could put us into the fucking Stone Age.
Yeah, and it's good that he's on our side.
Yeah.
The good thing that he's friendly, but it was, and then it was so cool. I love how the movie was broken down into segments, like chunks. So basically, like 1 hour, like it's like a mini series. And I really liked how, what was it? Like they added, well, obviously they added Darkseid because he was supposed to be the main bad guy, and then the new director just took him out completely to make the movie shorter. I was like, no, you have to have a big bad, like a guy that's kind of orchestrating everything like Thanos. But Darkseid in the comic books, Thanos is a copy of Darkseid. Like DC had Darkseid first. I didn't know that. I thought they were kind of similar. Yeah. So I guess he's like the original OG, like, puppet master of all of that shit. But just having him and then having these badass characters, like Steppenwolf, like kind of like.
Dude, he looks so much better. He looks so much fucking.
Remember
better.
when the arrows got? Was that in the? I don't think that was in.
No,
the
I don't think it was, man. I'm like
all of these things that I'm enjoying about the movie. Like when he was when he was beating up the Amazonian women.
Yeah.
When like he would grab their horse and just like he would chuck it, and I'm like, was that in the? I have to go back and watch the original and see what parts, and then the ending scene with the Joker. Like the nightmare that Bruce Wayne was having, and then I like to have that kind of like creepy.
Were
they? Yeah, that was way better than the silly Joker that they had in Batman vs Superman. Yeah, he had the grill and all this shit, and I'm like, well, you took it. Like the Joker can be playful and exaggerated, but that works for me in the animated movies and shows. But when like when it's like a real life grounded gritty, you're dealing with death. Like he murdered Robin. When you're dealing with all of that shit, I would rather have a Joker that's just a psychopath like killer. Yeah. But he's also a genius as the way he gets to his I don't know, his means or the ending of it or whatever. But I really really enjoyed it. I don't know why.
He had like long hair. He's on a straight jacket. But
and he was just kind of creepy. It looked like all of his it looked like he just got beat up because like all of his teeth were bloody and it was just looked all crazy. I was like, like that isn't the exact like Christopher Nolan's version of Batman is like my version and of the Joker and all that stuff. But like this isn't bad at all. Like
no.
It was really interesting what he did. Would Wonder Woman be killing those bad guys? Like no. But I was happy that she just like hit one towards like all the people and then hit him back and then just he splattered up against the wall.
I was like,
you saw blood. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, she killed him. Okay, she killed him. Okay.
Yeah, she killed him. Yeah. And I'm just like,
he did.
But I would wonder like that whole thing. I would like more.
More of all of it.
More of all of it. But like. Because what makes Batman so interesting to me is like his struggle, especially with the Joker of killing him, because he doesn't kill type of deal. That makes his character so fascinating. So I would like the other characters like Wonder Woman in a movie, let's say, deal with that, and like what characters get pushed past that point. Some fail, some don't. So
that'd be really interesting. That'd be really,
because
really cool.
You're there to save humanity.
You're right, and that kind of happens in Arkham City, Batman the video game, when after the Joker he turned in that big ass, which was a lot of people didn't like that big ass nasty thing, but then he died because the toxin or whatever that turned him into that's what killed him. And I remember Batman walking out. He said basically what I'm paraphrasing, but the lines were around. If I would have killed you a long time ago, I would have imagined how many lives I would have saved. And he like right then and there, he was struggling because he was already dead and he was carrying his body.
Yeah, because he died anyway. Because he died anyway.
Moment,
so he's like,
in that moment, he was struggling with that. He's like, but he just, so like what you were just saying, like he was struggling in that moment. He was in that dude, and so that's what's really cool.
Like when is it okay to kill somebody?
Yeah.
And then like if you killed that person, what does it do to you? But then also how does that make others look at you? Because then if someone's killing somebody and then you stop them by killing them, but you're also supposed to be this moral, that's moral high ground.
Yeah.
So that's the game it plays.
And that's funny too, because in one of the, I can't remember which Star Trek movie it was. It was the newer ones with Chris Pine.
Yeah.
There's a moment, I can't remember, I think it's the second one. He says, when we go to stop evil, we risk awakening the same evil in ourselves.
Yeah, because like to the lengths you have to go to
Yeah,
stop
yeah.
evil
To stop evil.
could possibly be evil. Yeah,
And I'm like,
that
when he said that, I was like, wow, it's some heavy shit, man. Like that
well, yeah.
right there was
well,
like
that's
that's
the same
real shit.
Yeah, that's the same argument that people have with like say the death penalty in real life.
Yeah.
Like, is it okay to kill somebody? And say if someone is like mentally like I think if you kill somebody and have no remorse, or like a serial killer or like one of these mob guys hit, I think mentally you have a disconnect. So is it okay to kill somebody that's basically mentally, compromised? Like he may not or she may not realize exactly what they're doing, or realize the consequences of it, or feel that weight of taking somebody's life. So is it okay by doing that? My natural reaction is kill him, get him out of here, whatever. But is that the right answer? That's my initial. But then I'm thinking, well, if they're mentally altered, is it okay to kill somebody that doesn't have those? I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's that's actually kind of funny too when you talk about that, because the show Dexter with Michael C. Hall.
Yeah. I've seen a few episodes, but I never got into it. Too many people talked about it, and it turned me off.
Yeah, I get it. I would start watching it now. I mean, because what I have to say is it is a huge spoiler. Okay. But are you probably never going to watch it? Huh?
It's how many seasons? Probably not. Just say it, and I'll forget about it, and then when I watch it.
That's true. So there's obviously you have Michael C. Hall. He's a killer, but he enjoys killing. But what it is so the reason why he likes killing, why he's is because when he was a child, like a toddler, he was in this. Him and his mother were in this shipping container, and his mother was literally butchered there's dudes in there, and they butchered her with a fucking chainsaw right in front of him, and he was in a pool of her blood. But then the police were able to find him, and one of the police officers that rescued him, he adopted him, and then he it's so cool how they did it, man. I fucking love it. They took him to a therapist because, and it's a famous actor. I can't remember his name, but I know he was the original. Was he? No, hold on.
No. Go into your mind palace.
No, never mind. He wasn't. Never mind. It's a different actor. Anyways, but he took him in, and then he realized that he was he was having these urges of killing. He realized that, and so he would kill like small animals and stuff like that. But he took him to he started basically training him because he was a police officer, and then he took him to a therapist, and they literally, because he's a child, so that's the best time to learn things is to mold how you mold a child is when mold a person is when they're a child.
Yeah, their brain's developing.
Yeah. So what they did is they said you only do it to evil, very, very specific evil people. And he said his dad said you have to prove it. You have to be 100% absolutely sure. You have to have hard evidence. You can't just be killing innocent people. And I was like, oh my God, because I thought that show was stupid. I was like, he goes after, he's basically a killer himself. And then I realized, I heard about it. I was like, oh, that's, and then but it's that moral compass. It's that moral compass where you really struggle. And so, but then what happens is he also had, I won't, but he had another brother who becomes he grows up and he becomes a serial killer. But his brother was sent to a mental hospital as a child, and they raised him, but it didn't matter. He went and he was killing people. He just did it just because. So it's a different.
Yeah. Like just different upbringings. So if you have one child that has a certain like structure around him, then he's going to obviously turn out different than someone else who didn't have that kind of.
But it's my point is his brother had to be killed. His brother had to be killed because he would have just kept doing it. Yeah, he would have just kept doing it. But it's really funny too that with the whole moral compass is because obviously Dexter in the show he doesn't believe in God, which would be weird. It would be a complete contradiction. A lot of people wouldn't like it if he did because he kills. But his dad mentions he's
sending them to God.
Yeah, he's just making the yeah.
He's making the journey shorter for all these.
Yeah, people. Right. But his dad was like, basically, I'm paraphrasing, but because what he because his dad passed away, but he sees his dad like he's kind of because he's a killer, so he does have a little schizophrenia.
Yeah, but he's a little crazy.
He's a little crazy, but he'll see his dad, and his dad will kind of talk to him a little bit, And but it's really him. It's just his subconscious talking. Obviously, we know that. But his dad was saying. His dad was saying basically, he's like, I know you don't believe in God, son. He goes, but you have to understand. He said, with what you're doing, with what you do, he says, if there is a God, you're gonna have to pay the piper. Like it was just that scene was like, okay, that's really cool. But I don't know though, man. Like he's killing, like the people that he kills are very, very evil people. Like it's not like, oh, like one person like he murdered someone because they were beating his wife. No. These are people that are like dogs, like less than human. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But that's where as a viewer, it's interesting because you're rooting for basically the bad
guy.
Yeah. So
and that's what makes it such a great. And then also in that show,
a lot of people liked it, and plus, I know a lot of women that like that, but women love those murderer.
Oh yeah.
All of that serial killer kind of shit, which is weird.
But again, yeah, it's a great show because a lot for a good portion of the show, and they do it so well how they transition out of this part. But for a good portion of the show, you're on edge because he might be caught. And there's one person in the movie where he's always been suspicious of him. He doesn't know that he's a fucking serial killer. But he keeps these like trophies. He keeps these blood trophies like in these little petri dishes. He just he cuts them when like he ties them up, and he cuts them on the cheek, and then he'll take a little turkey, not a turkey baster, but it's just a little tiny one of
like a little vial.
Yeah, and he just sucks it up, and then he puts it in and then he keeps it in this tray, and he has like fucking like 50 of them, probably more. But
trophies from killing people.
But but no, man, I'm telling you, like that movie, like if you watch that show, you could like learn, because I learned that to get up actual blood, to get rid of because you can clean it up, but then if you have a red, ultraviolet light, you still see it. To get rid of that, you use bleach, because bleach kills the DNA.
Yeah, but then people can see, like, say if you clean your place like that, and there's like an investigation or whatever, they can see, like, if you bleached everything, they can see, like, that's suspicious. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like, suspicious right there. They're like, why is there every...
But that could just be circumstantial. They could be a clean
exactly. Obviously, it's not as damning as someone's blood on your carpet. But,
yeah, right.
But that's going to make them
keep
look even more. Yeah. They're going to look deeper. They're like,
but it's
just one room got cleaned, but no other room in the house got cleaned. Like, what happened exactly?
But and then like he would surround the room that he would bring his victims in. I know I'm getting too deep into this, but he would surround the room.
No, it's fine. Well, with plastic and all that shit.
Yeah, with just plastic wrap, and he'd wrap them up in plastic wrap, like up to their neck, and then he'd just stab them in the heart, and then it would bleed, and then he would chop them up into pieces, and then he had a boat because it was in Miami. I'm pretty sure in Miami. I know it was in Florida, but he would drive his boat and then drop them in different spots.
That's weird. Like, you always wonder, like, if I had to get rid of a body, like, how...
There's ways.
I don't even know how... Fix your mic, because I can barely hear you a little bit. Like, closer.
Is it better, baby? Is it better?
There you go. I want to hear your voice.
Testing 1. Fuck.
Not... I was laughing. I was going to send... At a text message I never sent you, but I wrote it out. Because Corey left last weekend to go on like a little trip with her friends, and I was like, Corey's gone, come over and screw.
You couldn't send it. He's laughing.
I was laughing too much. I was just laughing at the way you say the word screw. And
you heard it.
Your stupid voice, and I was.
You're
just,
like, I don't want to give him the satisfaction of knowing I'm laughing.
I was like, this is funny just for myself. I'm going to keep this moment to me. And then Corey came home, and I had to instantly tell her.
Oh, yeah. She probably laughed. She's like, yeah, that sounds like Ray.
But she doesn't know you well enough to know, like...
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't know you that well. She met you like...
All right.
2 or 3 times. But,
she's met me 2-3 times?
2 or 3? 4? I can't remember.
Do you not know how many times I've been to your apartment?
I don't care about you.
Dude, I gotta tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you. Last time, dude, I don't know what it was. That couch fucked my back up. Like, it was horrible. I got horrible sleep. I was like, but before it was like, it was fairly comfortable. And then the last time I'm like, oh my God, I'm never coming down here again.
That's how I felt with your couch bed or whatever the fuck that is. Like, I felt...
Yeah, it wasn't comfortable. Yeah, no. I haven't laid on it, so...
I try it once just for fun. There's like these individual metal rods that run alongside, and where my spot was like right on top of one, and like
What
Corey
I'll
was
have to-
inside the
She
little
was, she was,
divot,
so she was nice.
yeah, she was all hammocked in there, and I was all, if it was.
What? Yeah.
Terrible.
I mean, both of the couches were $100, but I mean, there's
Well, I'm not
comfortable
expecting
sit-on.
anything. Yeah, I didn't expect, but I was just all this.
What I think I'll do is I'll probably get like a what the fuck? It's like a topper mattress, like where it's like all like
to go over
nice.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just get one of those for you guys in case you guys come up here because I want to get one for my mattress.
Never coming back there again. Never coming back there.
Friendship coming up here one weekend. Actually, if you want, you can come up this weekend. The 20. I mean, it's up to you.
Well, first of all, I can come up whenever weekend I want to. First of all, that's
true.
That's okay.
Good point.
But this weekend's going to be Sea of Thieves weekend with Corey. She's leaving Wednesday to go do some family stuff, and then coming back Thursday, and then I don't know if it's the following weekend. I think she's leaving for something. I can't remember.
Storm over here.
There's a storm? Oh no.
Well, okay, look, out here in Adelanto in California, we don't really get storms. Actually, there was a storm last Thursday. It was like I was in Arizona. Because it was dark and I didn't really see the clouds, and I was actually on the mic with Dylan. I was when I was there at work, and I was just pacing, just talking to them. I was walking back and forth in front of the gate, and I turn around, looking towards Alpha Valley. I see this huge fucking lightning strike. I was like, oh my god! It looked like fucking Armageddon. And then I just saw a couple flashes, and then Danielle had texted me. She said that she saw this bright flash in their house, at her mom's house, and she said it sounded like metal was being, like a giant piece of metal was being dragged across the roof. I was like, and I was like, that means that the lightning was right there. She said that she heard the lightning or the thunder immediately, and that means that it's close. It's right next to you. And look, lightning is really cool far away, but because I've experienced that shit in fucking Georgia, where that shit strikes and that you hear the thunder immediately, that's not fucking fun. I'm like, oh my, okay, I need to go fucking side. All right, I'm not having a fucking good time. I'm not having a good time.
Well, yeah. But
it was.
I don't blame like our ancestors for believing that was like the gods, and just like,
right.
Just all of it, just like, oh, the gods are mad at us for some reason. It's like, no, you live in a stormy area. It's not. They didn't know. They didn't know. That's just the weather. It's not. It's like, oh, what did I do?
That lightning is just
somebody inappropriately, and I'm married. And it's God punishing me. It's like, no, it's just the weather. Calm down.
Smite me, almighty smiter.
Yeah, Bruce, and you start making up like sins for. I remember watching. We'll close on this because you got to go here pretty soon. I was watching Vikings, and there's this character. There's this Christian character. He's this badass, like good-looking Christian. I don't know, priest or whatever, and he has sex with all of the girls, but then he punishes himself afterwards. And so like he's out for some reason. Of course, they have to make him shirtless, so he's shirtless outside in the dark in the moonlight.
What's the name of the show? What's the name of the show?
Vikings. Vikings always Viking.
Write that down real quick. I can't remember that, so write that down.
How do you spell Vikings? V. So he's like, it's moonlight. He's sweating. He's glistening, looking amazing. And at first, I seen a few scenes before that. There was a funeral he presided over, and this hot widow, like her kids were there, and like the husband died or whatever. And then the next scene, like he was talking to her about consoling her, about being here. The Lord will be here for you and all this other stuff. And then it just shows him bang like her up against like a headboard, real hot scene. And I was like, oh, it's awesome. So the next he does something else along the same lines, and then he was whipping himself with like this with all these little leather straps and like these hooks at the end. He was whipping himself.
Cat of nine tails. That's what it is.
Yeah. So and then
cat of nine? I don't know.
And then he there's the scene with the moonlight. He did something else, and then it cuts to him in the moonlight, and he's like talking to God, like apologizing, like, this is what I'll do. I stray or whatever. And then he's like, there's thorn bushes in front of him, like all of these vines with thorns, and he's just like walking through it.
Oh.
Just like, and I'm like, no, it's like, in my head, I'm thinking like, if God doesn't exist, like just hypothetically, you're doing this for no reason. Like in my head, I'm just like, this is like, human beings have this like guilt of like kind of whatever they do, like a normal kind of functioning human being. You do something that you think is bad, but you do it anyway for whatever reason. And then you have to punish yourself for it. And if you're a religious person, back then you had to beat yourself.
No, you didn't have to beat yourself.
You didn't have to, but like,
you didn't have to.
You didn't have to, but you have to like, whatever, like admit your sins, and like it was like so many Hail
Repent.
Mary, depending on your
Religion.
your religion. But I'm just like, like this is what I have to go through because the God I worship, I'm failing, and it's just this cycle. Like say we're sinful, and so we act sinful anyway, kind of regardless of our own struggles. We sin to some extent. Everybody sins. So then everyone like gets beat, or you can just say, hey, that's us. That's what we do. God's going to love us anyway. We try to get better. Like we legitimately try to get better. As long as we're doing that, I think you'll be okay.
And but, I know you have your, obviously you have your, when it comes to that, you have your doubts, but obviously God would never require us to do that. That's another reason why he sent Jesus.
No, just walk through thorn bushes. I was like, what?
Yeah, I don't know if I can. I don't want to believe in you.
Can I believe in another God that doesn't mind me doing all this stuff?
Yeah,
please.
But you know why people use nine tails to whip themselves? Like, because there were people who actually did that. You know why they use nine tails?
I don't know why 9. No.
Well, it's just with the hooks at the end. It's because that's what Jesus was beat with.
Hit with. Mm-hmm. I know he was hit with that. Well, he's probably hit with every damn thing that was laying around.
Well, yeah, the Bible describes that he was completely unrecognizable.
Well, yeah, and then as a kid, I'm thinking, how can someone be unrecognizable? Then I watch the UFC and see like a punch.
You're like,
oh, you see like
But and it was just,
huge knots on their head,
and it was just all over his body too. And then he was, of course, crucified. And crucifixion was a real thing, but we know that was a real thing back then. They did that to other people. That's horrible.
I don't know if it was the Romans, but they were taking over something. They took all these prisoners, and then every like Roman mile, they crucified someone for hundreds of miles. Like when they were traveling to the next town or whatever, they just like hang another one up so they know not to mess with us. And
yeah, and then apparently they would. Some people they started crucifying people upside down. That would be very interesting.
I just think it's people getting bored. I honestly think it's like, what else can we do? Like, human beings are always like the next thing.
It's to send a message. Like that's why they did with Christ. Because it was the cross is Christianity, and they put him up there. And
was the cross Christianity before that, or was it after? Or did that just become like, was the cross there before? Like,
because I'm pretty sure the
first person crucified.
Well, because I'm pretty sure the cross, because it's the 3, so the Holy Trinity. I think
that's
but I wonder
if that was a symbol.
I'm not sure.
I don't know, because like
you can. I mean, obviously we could look it up, because it's with the theologians and stuff like that, and
it's fun to speculate though.
But I mean, because I'm pretty sure Christianity was before Christ came, before Christ walked the earth.
I thought that's what had to be a Christian, because that like has Christ in it, so there was no.
Well, no,
right?
but
didn't that happen afterwards?
Because you have the Old
Jesus
Testament.
wasn't a Christian; he was Jewish, and then that's why Jewish people only believe in the Old Testament. They don't believe in the New Testament. They don't believe that Jesus was the Son of God.
Yeah, which is weird though. That's like weird because it's. I mean, like I get it.
Well, it's not weird. It's just what they believe in. They believe that he wasn't the Son of God. He was like a prophet. He wasn't the Son of God or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know any of it. If the Old Testament's real, I don't know if the New Testament's real.
We got to do the game thing.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Good thing I remembered, because we were just gonna. All right, so
we're gonna go ahead. So I got a game called Haven for you. I got a game called Hello Neighbor. And do you want Recore or Madden? I'll let you select which one for the third one.
Do Recore, because I've played Madden before. I know
Madden 21.
I know they're super different.
Yeah, well, that and like the NHL game, I want to see.
But because Recore, like I said, I only played Recore a little bit. And that'll be a game to like actually kind of.
Okay. All right, so pick 1, 2, or 3.
3.
3. That's Recore. You got Recore.
Wow.
you got to play Recore now. What are my games?
So you have Mech Warrior 5 Mercenaries, Battle Chasers, Night War, which I've played. I've played all 3 of these games, and they're all fantastic games.
Okay.
Battle Chasers. Well, I played Mech Warrior 5 a little bit, but it's still really cool. I played the other Mech Warriors when I was a kid for the PC, so I know Mech Warrior is good. So Battle Chasers, Night War, Mech Warrior 5 Mercenaries, and then Man Eater.
Okay. So I'm gonna
So
pick.
you have 1, 2, and 3.
I'll pick 2.
That's Mech Warrior 5 Mercenaries.
I gotta play Mech Warrior. Okay. So the next podcast, I will Mech Warrior 5.
Yes.
Okay.
Gia.
You're an
That's
idiot.
a little stormy. Hopefully there's some...
You okay? What is that? How you fight storms off? I don't want to go outside. It's wind. There's wind and hail all around you, and you don't run. You don't run for shelter. You're just standing outside. You're a moron, and I hope you realize that. God, I can just now. I'm just envision. Oh, the rest of the day, I'm gonna envision you outside, just in a storm, wind,
rain.
just like a child.
Like I've never experienced it
Like
before.
you've never experienced before, and you have no idea what to do or how to counter it. Just billions of drops of rain. You think this is gonna fix it? That was pretty funny.
That was good.
Anyways, this has been another episode of the Video Games and Nonsense podcast. I'm Chase Carter.
Raymond Woods.
We appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
I remember 'twas